Welcome, everyone. I am Fedreani, and you are listening to Inner Light, a podcast dedicated to kindle a light of meaning into your life. On today's episode, we will be talking about individuation, becoming who we are meant to be. What is the concept of individuation? Stay with me as we explore it together. Individuation is the central concept of Carl Jung's psychology, is the foundational image and aspiration of Jungian psychoanalysis and life. Individuation is the process of becoming the person we are truly meant to be. This journey towards self-realization and individuation is both profound and transformative, guiding us as individuals to integrate various aspects of our personality and achieve a sense of wholeness in our lives. Is the most painful procedure to tear off those veils, but each step forward in psychological development means just that, the tearing off a new veil. We are like onions with many skins, and we have to peel ourselves again and again in order to get to the real core. Carl Jung writes, "One cannot individuate as long as one is playing a role to oneself. The convictions one has about oneself are the most subtle form of persona and the most subtle obstacle against any true individuation. One can admit practically anything, yet somewhere one retains the idea that one is nevertheless so and so, and this is always a sort of final argument which counts apparently as a plus, yet it functions as an influence against true individuation. The difference between the natural individuation process, which runs its course unconsciously, and the one which is consciously realized is tremendous. In the first case, consciousness nowhere intervenes. The end remains as dark as the beginning. In the second case, so much darkness comes to light that the personality is permeated with light, and consciousness necessarily gains in scope and insight. The encounter between conscious and unconscious has to ensure that the light which shines in the darkness is not only comprehended by the darkness, but comprehends it. The filius solis et luna, the son of the sun and moon, the possible result as well as the symbol of the union of opposites. It is the alpha and omega of the process, the mediator and intermedius, writes Jung. It has 1,000 of names, say the alchemists, meaning that the source from which the individuation process rises and the goal towards which it aims is nameless, ineffable. As we see, Carl Jung say that the process of individuation as the process of self-realization, the discovery and experience of meaning and purpose in life, the means by which one finds oneself and becomes who one really is. A radical self-acceptance between conscious and unconscious is needed to individuate. We have to identify and accept our character flaws and weaknesses, but also our talents and strengths. It requires an acceptance of past mistakes and also a clear acceptance of the current conditions of our life, in the recognition that, as Jung writes, we cannot go forward except from the place where we happen to be. out of evil, much good has to come. By keeping quiet, repressing nothing, remaining attentive, and by accepting reality, taking things as they are and not as I wanted them to be, by doing all this, unusual knowledge has come to me, and unusual powers as well, such as I could have never have imagined before. I always thought that when we accepted things, they overpowered us in some way or other. This turns out not to be true at all, and it is only by accepting them that one can assume an attitude towards them. How are you fulfilling your life's task, your mission, your raison d'être, the meaning and purpose of your existence? This is the question of individuation, the most fateful of all questions, writes Jung. I believe that we all have to answer this question at one point in our lives. Then and only then we can become who we are really meant to be, and we can find our inner light. To conclude, I leave you with a quote from Carl Jung connected to individuation. The self as the essence of individuality is unitemporal and unique. As an archetypal symbol, it is a God image and therefore universal and eternal. Thank you very much for listening to this episode of Inner Light. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to leave a like, comment, and share. I am Fedrayani. Stay connected until the next episode.